Blessed evening, collective. I feel like pulling a reading. I feel like there's something that wants to come out here. I don't know what it is, but I want to do it. I want to be here. There is so much happening in my external and internal experience that I feel like a little child. That's pretty much exactly what it is. There's a lot of change happening right now, not just for me. It's just the time of transition. I mean, it's continuing. It's been that time. We've been building up to this, and it's just the time is now for a lot of things to change. And the mind, ego, is terrified of change. It doesn't want anything to change because it can control and believe that it understands and therefore controls what stays the same. If it stays the same, it's predictable. It knows what happens. The mind believes that it knows. It can see this course. It can project down this path. It goes, I know exactly where this is going. It's going nowhere. It's going the same. It's just the same thing. It wants to repeat a cycle because it's familiar with that cycle. It feels safe there. We're done, though. We're done with a lot of cycles. We're done with all of this old shit. We're entering new, unfamiliar territory, and it's scary. And it's going to keep being scary. That's just what it is, because it's not scary to the soul. The soul is thrilled. The soul is so ready for this. This is what the soul, the true self, thrives on, is not knowing and finding out, discovering in the moment, learning through the direct experience of it as it's unfolding, going, oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. It's not forming concepts and ideas that it's then projecting upon future situations. It's taking everything as it is, as it comes, in the moment, and letting it be that. Just that. This is what is. It has no bearing on what becomes. It has no relation to what was. It's just what is. This is what it means to live in the moment. It means to actually be here, present, not knowing in the conceptual way, actually knowing nothing in the mind. Being this totally empty cup. Being the empty cup. Being a child. I've been stuck on this sort of idea of what is the difference between ignorance and innocence. One is held in judgment. Essentially, they're the same thing. It's a state of purity. It's a state of not knowing and being open to receiving. But ignorance is considered a bad thing. It's pretty much innocence that has been perceived by the mind as dangerous. Ignorance is innocence that is perceived as unsafe. But this is what we're being drawn back to, is a state of innocence, a state of purity, a state of not knowing, of forgetting, of unlearning, and forgetting all of this history, all of this made-up stuff about the world, about ourselves, about life experience. It's about becoming comfortable with not knowing how this works, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing even to the point of not knowing yourself the way that you used to. Because the way that we used to know, the self that we used to know, was an idea. You are most yourself when you are undefined, when you know nothing. You are most yourself when you have no idea who you are, because you were never an idea to begin with. That idea was always a made-up story, an identity. It wasn't actually you. When you have no idea who you are, you're just being you. You're just being who you are. You're not conforming yourself to any concept, any idea. You're not restricted. You're not limited. Your being is free to express as it desires to through the moment. That's when you are most authentically yourself, when you have no idea who you are. You're just actually being. And ego is very uncomfortable with that. Very, very uncomfortable. It says we have to know, we have to have something to hold on to, we have to have some foundation, that's solid. That's not the soul. The soul is free falling all of the time. It's flowing. It's open. It's free. It's not tethered to anything. It's not really taking anything with it. It's letting it all flow through. It's taking it all in and letting it all pass. And it's just there for the experience. What we are is curious. What we are is open, aware, receptive. What we are is loving. What we are is innocent and pure and following desire without question, without questioning it, without explaining it or justifying it. It is really, really, really time to return to that state of childlike innocence and wonder when the world still believed in magic. To be as a child, which means not to get hung up on not knowing things. In this state of continuous learning and expansion and exploration and discovery and play. We're here to play, to just play with everything. To not even really form concepts as solidly as we have. To let everything evolve. To let it grow. To let it be different from one time to the next. And not judge that. Not say that it has to mean something. It doesn't have to mean anything. It's just what is. And all of it is good. All of it is safe. It's well. It's stable. Just let it be what it is. It's time to return to the present. To the state of being. Being, not doing. Thinking is a doing. Thinking is an action. When you're thinking, you're not purely being. The mind overvalues, and the mind-made identities overvalue doing. That's how they enact control. They think if we're always doing, then we're in control. And that's how they try to control consciousness, by convincing you that you need to always be thinking. You need to always be doing something, or else you're not enough, or you're out of control. Things will go wrong. You are wrong. It's time to just be. It's time to just be. And to say, I don't know. I don't know what happens. I don't know how this works. I don't know anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to be in the experience and feel it. That's it. As if all of this is the very first time I've ever done anything, because you know what? It is. It is. It's new every single second. It's new. We're not meant to cling to the past because the past has no influence upon the now. We don't need to project into the future because it's all streaming into the now. It's all happening anyway. There is nowhere we need to be but now. There is nowhere else but now. It's time to be here and be now. And in this moment say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea who I am. What I know is feeling. What I know is what I am feeling and what I am experiencing. I am open to the receiving of this moment, manifesting, within and without. That's true knowing. That is true knowing. There's been a lot of pain. Pain resurfacing. Old pain that has no relation to anything real. It is not correlated to reality at any level. It's just old pain. It's old energy that's been stuck. And it's coming to the surface in a big, way, because it's time to let that shit go. That shit can't stay with us in the present. That's why it's being pushed to the surface, because we're being pushed into the present. That's actually happening. Time, dimensionally, things are shifting in such a way that past and future are just falling apart. They're disintegrating. Whatever concepts, however solid those concepts seemed at some point in time, at some point in the past, it's all falling away. The past is falling away. Things are going to become harder to remember. Things are going to become harder to project into, because there's no place for that energy to actually go. We're lifting up out of that density, out of the place beneath time where we could then sort of project through it. We're going to be on the same level as it. So memory and future projection are not going to have the same feel or appeal. The mind is just not going to be able to go there, because there is no there to go to. And it feels weird. It feels weird. It's going to feel crazy. And it's going to make people crazy a little bit. Because again, it's creating this internal reaction. It's almost a combustion. There's a self-destruction taking place of these elements, all of the identities that try to keep us trapped in them, that try to keep our energy funneled into them, by forcing us to think, by forcing us to project one direction or the other, to stay out of the now, essentially. They're losing their power, and they're freaking the fuck out. And the only thing that they can do is what they've done, which is use the same old tactics. Try to sneak in, try to get us to re-identify with them. Inject us with panic, with fear, with guilt, with heavy, intense emotion that is very uncomfortable if you're in a state of resistance to it. But it doesn't work the same way that it used to. Even experiencing that, there's no fighting. There's no fighting that needs to be done. There's no combating. We understand the power of allowance here. But consciousness is at the point, collectively, where it's being witnessed at a collective level. How this happens, how this has happened, what's been taking place. And now the collective identification is broken, and it cannot be reestablished. It can't. The jig is up. Game over. We're wise to the con now. And there's nowhere for it to take hold again. But it's trying. It's trying really hard. And really, it's all working, as it always has, to our benefit, because what it's doing is bringing up all of this old pain that now finally is able to be witnessed and released in a new way. In a new way. Now it's actually becoming fuel for consciousness. Now we are burning it up instead of adding to it. And all it takes is allowing it to be there, is feeling that pain, is looking at it and acknowledging it and saying, yes, this is here. This is what I feel. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. Once you're aware, once you're looking at it, it doesn't have the same power over you, and it can't ever again. It'll still hurt. There's still pain there. That's what it is. It's there to be pain. But by our perception of it, our altered, expanded perception, it shifts. It's being transmuted. You don't have to do anything to transmute it. You just let it be. You just acknowledge it. You just become aware of it. You just breathe in the moment that you're feeling it and feel it. That's it. So there's a lot of pain being felt right now, being expressed. It's being expressed. Expression and release have always been the same thing. And it's always a positive thing. Again, healing is not an extra step. It's just you feel it. You feel it. You let it flow by feeling it on purpose. And now we're conscious. Now we're aware. We're paying attention. We don't go back to being asleep. That's not how this works. Now we're paying attention. We pay attention to the feelings as they arise and we let them be felt. That's it. And we can feel when we get tangled up in the resistance about them, but we know that's okay too. That doesn't stop anything. We can always accept, I am in a state of resistance. That's another level of surrender. That's what I'm feeling right now. I feel this, I feel the resistance to it, and I accept all of it. I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to get myself out of resistance. I'm not resisting the resistance. I'm accepting that it's there. This is where I am in a state of resistance. That's it. That's all it takes. And we're doing that more and more. There's a lot of physical transition taking place. I am going to pull cards. I'm just speaking on everything that I've been feeling recently in regards to this. A tremendous amount of physical transition. By that, I do mean death. Other types of physical transition too. With death, there is always rebirth. That is the way that it works. All of the density, the things that can't come with us into the now, into the higher dimension of awareness of the continuous present moment. They're being released so that they can be reborn, fresh and free in this higher dimensional, less dense space. Let's pull some cards. Ten of Pentacles. Two of Cups. Yeah, I mean, everything is coming to balance. Everything is balancing. Energy is balancing. It's always been self-balancing, self-correcting. This is what's happening in a big way, especially internally. Because as within, so without. We may find ourselves suddenly feeling differently because we're more aware. Feeling differently about the way we used to be, the way we used to treat ourselves or others, an altered perception of past events. We're seeing past events in a new light. We're seeing ourselves in a new light too, certainly. We're working with ourselves in a new way. We are learning to work with our own energy in a new way. Understanding that this is the focus. This right here. Everything out there is secondary. This is the work, the internal, the recognition of what is myself. What is the voice of my soul? What is it that I'm really feeling? It's just a lot about feeling. What am I feeling? What am I feeling now? How can I let that feeling flow? Is it desire? Is it the restriction of desire? I have the power to feel good, even in feeling pain. Seven of Swords, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's a lot of, truth. There's a lot of sword energy here. Getting clear within ourselves, what is it that I want? Where have I been denying my desire? Where have I been putting the idea of self before the reality of self? In other words, what are things that I don't do or I don't want that are not true? I took that on as a story. My not doing or my not wanting of these things was handed to me by society, by somebody else. What stories have I allowed to become mine that are not mine? What stories have I been telling about myself that aren't true? And I've been sharing them with other people, saying, oh, I don't do that, or I do this, I would never do that. Can I see the judgment there? And can I recognize in how many of those things am I directly denying my own desire by conforming to a story of myself instead of allowing myself to actually be and express authentically? How many things do I want that I haven't realized that I want, that I haven't allowed myself to admit, that have been kept out of view because I've been following this narrative of who I am, this self-concept, who I am, what I want, what I do? What dreams have I allowed to overlay my actual ones? What dreams have I picked up on my external trail, my physical trail, that sounded good to ego, that sounded good to the mind, so they became my dream, they became mine, because the concept of them was pleasing in some way to this identity that had formed. But I'm realizing more and more that identity is not me, and it doesn't want the things that I want. This idea of me, which is not me, has different dreams and desires than I do. What are mine? What are the things that I actually want? If I let myself feel that, because I haven't for a really long time, I've been living in this false constructed identity, this idea of who I was that is not me. So who am I actually? I'm most myself when I forget all of who I thought I was. I am not who I thought I was. I am not who I think I am. Who am I when I'm not who I think I am? Who am I when I'm not thinking, when I allow thought to fall away entirely? Who am I when I'm just being? Who am I when I have no idea of myself and I just am myself? What emerges then? What arises within me then? What spurs me? What stirs me? I wonder. Because it's vastly different. Who you actually are and who you think you are vastly different. Queen of Cups. The most love, the most emotion in the tarot. All this stuff I thought I wanted is utterly irrelevant. Who am I actually when I release the concept of self and I am pure soul? Pure emotion, not thinking, following impulse, feeling, allowing myself to live in this altered state where I am not questioning, I am not conceptualizing, I'm just allowing, I'm in the moment. You will find all kinds of things that you didn't know you wanted when you stop thinking about what you want and actually feel it. Actually let that feeling arise. When you let go of the idea, the concept of self, of who you are and what you desire, none of that is actual, none of that is real. Chariot. That is what it means to have masculine energy aligned beneath feminine energy, to let the soul guide, to turn the brain off and be in the moment and follow the impulse and say, I follow you, soul. The mind doesn't tell you who you are and what you want. You show me. You show me. You move through me. You make the choices. You make the call. And I just follow. I feel the impulse and I allow it to flow through me. I allow the action to happen through me. I allow the expression, whatever it is, I just allow it to come through. I feel it, I allow it. That is the role of masculine energy, giving permission to the feminine energy, which is the soul, to flow. Permission to the desire. I feel the desire, I acknowledge it, I allow it. And I allow it to drive me, to guide me. Standing right behind it, not leading, not guiding, not pushing, not suggesting, not doing anything, watching, listening. The role of masculine energy is to watch the feminine, is to observe. I mean, that's what it naturally does. It's transfixed, it's hypnotized. That's what it's always following her lead, following the lead of the soul by watching it, seeing where do her eyes go. That's where we're going, because that's what I want. I'm talking internally, but this is the way that it works. Observing the content of the soul, observing the emotion arising. What is the impulse? We move, we strike that direction. We take swift, decisive action on that. We allow it. We're listening always. Always. That's why we're paying constant attention. We're watching. We're watching the soul. Masculine watching feminine. With a fixed gaze as the servant waits for the master of the house. And we follow her lead. Change, long-awaited change, also is here. Things that have been held up. Unsticking, ungluing. It's a dreamy way of living. It feels very foreign to the mind and to one who has inhabited the mind space, which is many, many of us. Oh, all right. Nope, that's it. Okay. But this is a big part of masculine and feminine energy balancing, which is what's happening right now. Again with the watching. I had the strength card pop out. It's just this passionate devotion. And it is things coming in powerfully, yeah. Coming in, coming up. You can feel them coming. You will feel them coming. I don't know what I'm pulling on, right? I'm not specifically pulling on the soulmate cycle, but my interest is in the ascension and evolution of humanity. What's happening right now with the balancing of energy. which is the balancing of masculine and feminine energy, which plays out within and without. This is not traditionally a couple, but I mean, I feel this powerfully. This is masculine energy, this is feminine energy. Yeah, we're doing this a new way. We're doing this in a new way. What else do I have broken here? The Wheel of Fortune, I just saw the Lovers, and the Ten of Wands, which breaks to an Ace of Wands, which is that stuck up energy that's being unleashed. Everything that's coming to the surface is being unleashed. Again, it's just here for us to feel. Things that we've kept secret from ourselves, things that we haven't looked at within ourselves. I feel it so powerfully about denied desire. What are the desires that we've denied, that we've told ourselves, no, I don't want that? And we've only told ourselves and convinced ourselves that because ego judged that desire as inappropriate or dangerous in some way. But you can't kill desire. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Unstoppable, this lion. It's coming up. Oh, we want it. We want it so bad. You're supposed to follow that. Your desire is meant to feel good to you. That's how this is meant to work. It's not meant to be questioned. It's not meant to make sense to the mind. It's meant to be, oh, I feel that and I want it, and I go towards it. That's it. And that's why you're paying attention. That's why you're listening. That's why you always have this internal focus of what is it that I'm feeling? Where is my desire guiding me now? Masculine energy watching feminine energy, following her lead everywhere, everywhere. Laser focused upon it. I'm telling you, the masculine energy is focused fully on feminine, and that's where it's supposed to be. That's the result of the balancing taking place. It's just naturally how this works. It's devoted to her. There's that again. Knight of Swords. We're striking on this time. Strike while the iron is hot. The heated iron is your passion, is your desire. What is heating up within you? Strike. Take action. You feel it arising, move towards it. Now, that's the time to take action. When you feel that impulse, follow it. It leads somewhere really good. This is, I am not usually drawn to the little glowy center of the ring, but it just feels like that heat. I mean, it's earth energy, but it feels hot. We're making real physical changes here. Things that have been ideas within us, brewing, bubbling, boiling for a while here, we're finally driven to do something. Make a physical change, make a move, take action. Follow the impulse, follow the desire. Yeah. That's how dreams become reality. You dream them. You know that they exist because you've dreamed them. You couldn't have that dream if it weren't real. Now, you follow the unfolding. You follow the sort of scavenger hunt of the soul. Again, that's why you're always listening. That's why masculine energy is always paying attention to the soul, because it's guiding us exactly where we want to go, to the fruition of the dream. And it's fun all along the way. It's fun in the unfolding of it. It's finding this piece and that piece and then seeing how they tie together. The dream is becoming brighter and more vivid, and this is going to continue happening. It's becoming more real than what we thought reality was. The dream is becoming more real than the illusion. that we had believed was real up until this point. We're starting to feel that. We're starting to feel the falseness of the world that we have built, the unreality of it. And understand, at a deep level, it's a deep level of knowing. It defies the mind. The mind cannot make sense of it, but the soul knows. This is the real thing. This is, and we're moving towards it. And how do we move towards it? By following desire, by letting feeling flow. First of all, letting all of it flow. Because if you're stopping some of it, you're stopping all of it. You're keeping yourself, you're keeping those desires repressed, right? You got to let it all come through. Then you have access to the guidance of the soul. Then you can see it clearly. Final outcome, temperance. I like that. It is communication, powerfully aspected. It is change. And we're learning how to do this. How to let it flow, how to let our own energy flow, and how to follow it. Again, by paying attention, by looking at it, listening to it at all times. And that means we're in the present. I got crap in my eye. That means we're in the present, we're in the now, we're paying attention to what's being felt now. We're not outside of the now, in the past or the future. But we're being pushed, we're being funneled into this heightened state of presence and awareness where we don't have the same kind of access that we did to the imagined realities of before and after. We're learning how to sit and watch. Oh, just exploded cards all over. Wow. Wow. They're going to be all mixed up. All right, what? I have 4 that didn't fit back in. Just to finish this thought, we're learning how to sit and watch. Again, the heron only strikes when it has the inspiration to. We're learning how to listen carefully, quietly, in stillness. Again, not taking action that doesn't feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then it's not ready. It's not what the soul is asking for. We're sitting, we're watching, listening. We are watching intently. It is, again, that laser focus. 2 birds that are laser focused in their observation. Watching the soul, watching the feminine. Where is she leading? Where is she looking? All right, what are the cards that fell out? 10 of Swords. I'm taking them the way that they fell. I'm just going to keep them off to the side. 10 of Swords and a 9 of Wands reversed. The wall's gone. The wall is gone. We're not just ready to release resistance. We're flowing around it. There is no resistance. And again, drawn to the owl here with the little glowing eyes, just watching for the opportune moment to strike. What else do I have? Ace of Pentacles and a 5 of Swords. We're seeing multiple things here. How sitting back, okay, how do I phrase this? 2 new perspectives on sitting still. On one hand, we're seeing how we have not taken action We've allowed the analysis paralysis to feel like victory, not letting anything change. As long, again, it's that sense of victory and things staying the same. We're understanding how that is false. That's a form of sabotage of the self. But we're also understanding the value and the importance of building up the energy and sitting still until we feel the impulse, and then following the impulse. We've been filling our time with all of this other doing that is not accomplishing anything, and thinking that that is the victory, that that's the goal, that we're really achieving things with all of this frivolous surface level movement. But we don't actually, because we're trying to maintain the surface level movement and keeping it the same, keeping this same routine and pattern of all of these things that we have going on the surface, and it's also successful in this, and oh, we don't want to change anything because then all of this would fall apart. But all of this is bullshit. All of this means nothing. All of this is accomplishing nothing. It's not satisfying. It's not what we actually want. What we actually want is to take that one change. When we strike, it changes the shape of the weapon. It's hot. It's glowing. We know it's going to change everything. But that's the point. Now is the time for everything to change. Now is the time for everything to change. Ace of Cups. Lovers. The Devil. Seven of Cups. That High Priestess again. It's time for us to receive clarity about where it is that we want to go. How do we make choices? What are we allowing to guide our decision making? Is it desire or is it fear? What choices have we been afraid of making? Have we been afraid of following our heart? Have we been afraid of putting ourselves in what we actually want first? So much so that we have been afraid to admit what we want to ourselves, and we've kept it tucked away. It's not going to stay tucked away. It's time for that to come out. It's time for that to come out. Yeah, big time. You can't keep those desires in. You can't keep them hidden. What you want is what you want. It's not what you think you want. It's what you do want. It's not gonna make sense to the mind, because the mind has a concept of yourself that is not yourself. That is not you. The you that your mind has created and all of the things that made up you wants and likes are not real. They're not what you actually want. You want and like a lot more stuff than that made up idea of yourself does. I promise you. I promise you. Oh, tell me about strength. There is so much just waiting to rip through. Nine of Cups. Yeah. That desire is taking control. It's leading us towards what it is we actually want. Again, the mind will balk at it and go, I don't want that. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a load of shit. Again, it'll tell you that it's you. It's not you. You're going to look at it and go, yeah, but I want it. I feel it. I hear this, but I feel this. Trust the body. Trust the feeling. The mind will inject anxiety on top of it. That's not guidance. That's not what you're actually feeling. What you're feeling is underneath the anxiety. And it can be challenging to get to that. It can. But you can also know whatever it is that my mind is coming up, is pushing against, whatever thought is coming up that's creating this anxiety, which is likely the thought of, I don't want that. Feel how that hurts. That's creating anxiety. That's fear. The mind is trying to control you. It's trying to manipulate you right now out of something that you actually want. You can almost be pretty sure that, oh, this is something I want because I'm afraid of it. That's kind of what it's demonstrating to me right now. Yeah. The mind will try to confuse you. It's these are not the droids you're looking for. That's what I'm feeling from that. It'll try to Jedi mind trick you out of what it is that you actually want. Reverse psychologize yourself. Pay attention. The soul does not speak through anxiety, does not speak through fear. If there's something that you don't want, then you will feel a different kind of rejection to it. It'll be a no. It won't be a it's just a no. Are you afraid of ice cream that you don't want? Does it scare you? Is there ever a question? Does it make you anxious to look at that container of rocky road and go, I don't want it? No, because that's not how desire works. And that's not how lack of desire works. If you're anxious about something, you probably, it's pointing to feelings there. If something makes you anxious, you can pretty well bet that there's actually desire underneath that. In some form or fashion, there is at minimum curiosity, which is desire. What else? Yeah. It's denied desire becomes anxiety is the way I feel it. I'm letting this flow through right now. I'm trusting this. I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. It may or may not make sense. I'm not telling anyone to take this advice. I'm just saying what I'm feeling. Denied desire feels like anxiety. That's what I get from this. The mind will try to overwhelm you. It'll try to overwhelm your emotion, what you're actually feeling, your actual guidance system, with fear. Feel around the fear. Or look it dead in the eye and say, I know why you're afraid of this. It's because you want it. So we're going to go towards it. We're going to make this an experiment. It's all an experiment anyway. Okay, I'm going to operate on the hypothesis. This is a hypothesis that I am now testing. What I am afraid of is what I want. So when I feel afraid of something, I'm going to recognize, I'm going to operate on this notion that that's actually something I want. So I'm going to go towards that. Let's just give it a try. Let's see how that works. Just an experiment, something to test. Yeah, it's fucking everything we want is right here. And we know we want it. The soul knows. And it's telling us. And the mind can't keep you from it. It's going to try. It's going to trick you. It's going to try to trick you. But again, it's not working the way that it used to. Because we're becoming aware that what the mind thinks it wants and then says is what we want isn't true. It's not what we want. It's all made up. Tell me about the Knight of Swords here. Oh, yeah. That Page of Cups is big feeling. It's big time feeling, but it's also recognizing the purity. Again, purity, innocence in that sensation of it's just, I just want it. I just want it. I am also getting very clearly that, I mean, this is what masculine energy feels looking at feminine energy. This is how it learns to trust its own internal feminine energy, because it's always in layers. It's in so many fucking layers. What masculine realizes when it sees feminine is that it has this pure desire inspired that doesn't fit any plan or label or agenda. It's just, I want this. I see it and I want it. Oh my God, nothing is going to stop me from it. That's what keeps masculine energy fixed in its gaze upon feminine, is the internal feminine of it rising in desire. And that the masculine energy saying, I can't deny this. There's something to this. This is what I want. I am giving my own desire permission. My own desire that I am permitting is feminine, is being here, is following her devotedly. That's my desire, and nothing is going to keep me from it. What's on top? Yeah. I mean, we're learning the power of passion, the power of wanting, the power of feminine. That this is how it works. There's also, I'm getting that childlike energy. We have 2 pages here of innocence, of not knowing and not trying to know, not trying to understand how or why, just accepting it. Accepting this is what it is. I feel this. I feel this. Oh my God, I feel this. So big. And it keeps hitting me. It's just, this wave is on a repeat. It's just crashing over and over again, and it's bigger every time. Following the feeling. Letting go of the rest. This is a big change for masculine energy. To have the feminine within rising in such a way that it's getting it. I'm getting it. I'm supposed to feel good. I'm supposed to follow my desire. I'm supposed to focus on my feeling so that I can recognize when desire is happening within me and then move towards it. That's what I'm meant to do. I'm not meant to deny emotion, any of it. And I have to let it all flow in order to have access to the guidance of the soul, to the guidance of my own internal feminine. I denied this for so long. So long, because I was afraid. But this is all I want. I was just denying myself pleasure. I was denying myself happiness, which is the pursuit of this desire, which is the pursuit of feminine. It's not even a pursuit, it's a following. It is just that I will stand half a step behind you and walk with you, because this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. And I get to be where I want to be. I get to do that. I get to honor my own desire. I get to allow it and take action on it and allow it to flow through me. No more keeping emotion locked away. We're focusing on that. We're focusing on feeling over thinking. We're understanding how thinking leads us nowhere. It just covers up the feeling. But if we get stuck in the overthinking, we can still use that to point us back towards what it is we're feeling. What are we overanalyzing here? What are we making so serious? We're making it serious because we're afraid of it. So let's just move towards it. Let's drop all of the thought, all of the questioning, all of the planning, the explanation, the justification, and let's just go. Let's just do it. Oh, all right. Card fell out. long time coming. Again, it's that very long, this is that victory after a long battle where you thought the guy was dead. They built a statue for him. They had a funeral, all of that jazz. Long time coming. This new understanding, this opening up. What fell out? Look at that. Strength. Again. What's been a long time coming? This action, this forward motion, this following of passion. Strength is passionate. I mean, it's hot, it's fire energy. Again. Just want to say impassioned action. How I feel about that King of Pentacles. Letting go. I just want to say letting go. Yeah, we're actually taking action. I wanted one more. He felt like he was standing still and he was ready to put that pentacle down and get up and do something. Ready to let it all go. We're moving a new direction here now. Letting go of the material world. Letting go of what we thought we wanted again. We had it all. We had it all in this life that we created for ourselves, but everything that we had was not what we actually wanted. What we actually want is to leave all of this behind and to just follow the desire. We're discovering a whole new self. All of this self, this image, this idea that we created, it's not us. It's so not us that what we actually want is to drop all of it, is to let all of that go. And to just, follow the heart and follow desire. I just keep getting that so powerfully. All of the stuff that we thought we wanted, the person that we thought we were, is not who we are, and it's not what we want. It's time to drop all of that. All of the preconceived notions. All of it. None of it's true, none of it's relevant. What's really here? Let's listen. The world, oh my God. We're talking to the universe. It's the card of the universe. It's the most powerful card. It's everything is changing. Everything is being guided. It's being aligned. It is this new cycle. Again, we're in this new place where the dream is more real, where all of the old shit just doesn't stick anymore the way that it did. Yeah, we've moved on. Moving on. We are in the calmer waters. But they feel foreign because we've been in this other place for so long. We've been in the place of panic and struggle and strife and just confusion for so long. When you've been confused for so long, clarity feels weird. Clarity feels confusing. Three of Pentacles. It's been building up to this. This has been building and building and building, and it was never, there was never any way to avoid it. It was never going to be anything but this. This is how it works. It all erupts now. It all changes now. We were always going to get here, and here we are. Here we are. It just goes forward from here It's more of this now. We are out of the old cycle of density, of confusion, of these egoic identities of self. Yeah, they're still hanging on. They're still going to be doing all kinds of shit, but they don't have that same power anymore. We're learning how to see through them, and it only takes once to start deconstructing that. You don't have to actively do it. You started it. You tipped it the other direction. Now it starts to tear itself apart the second you notice that this idea of self is not yourself, and that the thoughts that it's feeding you are not your thoughts. This is not what you think. This is not you. It always was adding to the build of actual emotion, actual desire, so that would erupt through. It's erupting. It was always building to this moment of absolute clarity on desire and going, oh my God, everything I thought I wanted is not what I thought I wanted. Because this is what I want. Because I've never wanted anything like this. And all of this stuff that I thought I wanted, I didn't feel like this about. So I didn't actually want it. This is, now I know what it feels like to want something. How many things have I gotten wrong? Have I told myself that this was my desire or not, when that wasn't the case? There was no actual emotion tied to that. It was all this made up stuff. Now I'm paying attention. Now I'm listening in here. What does this say? I'm listening all the time to this. What does my heart say? What does feminine energy say? What does my soul say? And it's telling me through emotion. Does this light me up? No? Then I walk away from it. Does this light me up? Yes, then I walk towards it. That's it. This is how we're moving about the world now. Do I feel afraid of it? Does it make me terribly nervous? Well, then, yes, I want it. I want to go towards that. That means there's passion there. There's excitement there. Oop. Six of Pentacles just fell out. All right. Energy around temperance is the Nine of Swords. What makes me nervous? Oh my God, I'm starting to understand why it makes me nervous. It's because I want that. Because I want that, and there's just something inside of me that is pushing against it, that's doubting it. It's not allowing my desire. It's questioning it, it's contradicting it in some way. That's where the anxiety comes from. That's where the discomfort comes from. My denial of my desire. I can just go towards it. I'm learning how to use this to actually direct me and say, okay, I'm afraid of it. That means I want it. That means I'm going to do it. That means I give to it. That means I go see. I flow this direction. Whatever the fear is standing in front of, I move towards. And if the fear is telling me to do something, then I don't do that thing. Same idea. Yeah, what is the Seven of Wands? What is the fear standing in front of? What is that anxiety keeping me from taking action on, or telling me to act on that I don't want to? How do I interpret this guidance? Because I can. Anxiety is not guidance, but it can point us, it can guide us by us doing the opposite. What's it sitting in front of? That's what I want. Another page. Read with the Death card too. What have I been looking at this whole time and been afraid to move towards? It's had my focus. It's had my attention. It clearly has my care because I'm afraid of it and I can't take my eyes off of it. Maybe if I just admit that I don't want to take my eyes off of it, this could feel good. Maybe, I bet you that, there it is. I bet you there's good feeling under this, is what I was about to say. Four of Wands, just underneath. Maybe that thing that I'm so afraid of, that I can't look away from, I can't look away from it because I really fucking want it. Because it's really good. Because it's really mine. Maybe that's why. So maybe I just go towards that. Look at that. Mind-blowing. Maybe I just dump all the other shit and in one dramatic motion, I make a bold leap of faith and I move towards it with my heart open because it's what I want. That's why the anxiety is there. That's why I can't stop looking at it, can't stop thinking about it. Why I'm so afraid is because I want it so bad. And I could just shift my perspective into understanding, first of all, admitting my desire. Second of all, permitting it to be. Third, just trusting it. Just following it. Just saying, I want to follow this desire because it feels good. We can work ourselves into the place of believing what we desire is ours. That's why we desire it. And just randomly cutting the deck at the Ace of Wands. It's time. It's time to take off. It's time to go. This stick of dynamite is right at the end. It's ready to explode. It's time to propel us forward and say, I am afraid of this because I want it. Therefore, I'm letting myself want it and I'm going towards it. That's it. That's it. Final message from the universe. And any fear of disappointment is not relevant. That's all, again, made up stuff in the mind. Made up mind stuff, not related to anything. Not from the soul. Don't need to worry about that. Anything else you want to say, universe? Whoa. Okay. Cards got very sticky there. High Priestess, again, what's underneath that fool that I just saw a second ago? Yeah, it's time. It's time to stop thinking and just act. To follow the feeling. Especially one that the mind wants to question, that it wants an explanation, it wants an answer for. It's something that's been in there all this time. It's always been in there. Your desires don't go anywhere. There's the anxiety again. Especially if it's something that the mind tries to throw resistance in the way of and go, oh, I don't know, but this is scary. That means you want it. That means just do it. You're not going to be happy if you don't. You're not going to be satisfied if you don't. So just do it. The anxiety means you want it. Admit that you want it, and then focus on that. Focus on that to the just dilution. I don't want to say exclusion, because we're not excluding anything else, but we're so laser focused on this is my desire, and just that. This is my desire. I'm moving towards it. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. This is where the juice is at. This is where the satisfaction is. Feeling the desire, following the impulse. That's it. There's that Three of Swords. I've been waiting for it. How do I feel about that? What's the next card out? Yeah. It's a resolution. The Star. I mean, that's powerful. The pain is there because we've been keeping ourselves from following the feeling. Yes, there's a component here that's about letting pain through, letting it just happen. Absolutely, but a lot of that pain, much of it is just residual stuck shit from the past. But we help it flow through by following these other feelings too. It's a mixture of both. We feel the pain and we let that pass so that we have access to the other stuff, but also the other stuff and the following of these impulses is here to actually resolve this pain once and for all, to show us a new way, to show us it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to keep repeating this pattern and recreating this same pain. We can do something different if we just, first of all, acknowledge that it was pain, let it come through, and then recognize we don't have to listen to that story. We don't have to keep telling that story. We can tell it one final time. We can feel it. We can hear it being told, and we can feel the full impact of it one last time. And then say, I'm learning how to navigate in a new way. I'm learning how to navigate the world and my emotions in a new way. I'm always listening. I'm always focused within on what's being felt. What is the internal content of my present moment? And I'm not pushing away any pain, and I'm not telling it that it's not supposed to be there. And I'm not putting it on a timeline either. Maybe I do feel, more pain again. It's not going to be the same pain. It might look like it has the same qualities, but it's going to be a different piece of energy. Maybe I have a lot of stuck pieces of that. That's okay. I'm going to allow those stuck pieces to come through, and no, that doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong. My continuing to hurt does not mean I'm not healing. I'm letting this stuff be felt. I'm letting it flow through. I'm here to feel all of it. And in the meantime, at the same time, I'm going to be following my desire. I'm going to know that the releasing, the feeling of that pain is making my desire more clear, more obvious, more accessible to me. And that especially when I feel anxiety about something, that means there's big treasure on the other side of that anxiety. That means there's something I want there. Something maybe that I denied myself in the past. Something that maybe I was afraid of because of what the mind said would happen or what did happen in the past. Maybe I got hurt in the past. And now I'm anxious. Now I'm skittish. Getting hurt and that anxiety layered on top of it didn't stop my wanting it. It didn't stop my desire. I still want it. I get to do it again. I get to move towards that. It's time for me to breathe deep and open my heart again and say, yes, last time, some other time, maybe numerous times, this ended in pain for me. But it didn't stop. That pain didn't stop my desire from being. I still want this, and I'm going to do it again. Because this time doesn't have to be the same as last time. This time is not last time. This time is new. This time is unrestricted by the past. And it doesn't have to be informed by the past either, because I'm letting that stuff flow through me. I still want what I want, and I won't be satisfied if I'm not following that desire. And that means being vulnerable. That means walking straight into the fear of being hurt. Again, but I know the power of my wanting. I know that what I want is given. I know that it's mine. I know that just because these other things didn't happen quite the way that I thought that they would, doesn't mean that anything's gone wrong. It's all been building. It's all been building up to this. For this time, when I go, this one is it. I'm opening my heart again. I've been hurt. I am feeling afraid of experiencing that pain again, but you know what? It's worth it because my desire is worth it. I am worth it. I am worth pursuing the fulfillment of this desire. This desire doesn't go away. This is what I want. It's mine. It belongs to me. So I'm going to keep trusting that. I'm going to keep following it no matter where it leads me. If it's through pain, then it's through pain. I still know my desire is on the other side of that. It's not blocked by it. I'm going anyway. The more afraid I feel of being hurt, the closer I know I am to exactly what I want. It's right there. This is for me to pass through. This is a part of what I want. Is this, I don't want to call it a trial, but it's like a trial. Walking through the fear, walking through the fire. Letting your desire be more powerful than anything else. Saying, I am not going to let go of what I want. Because I know this is where the satisfaction is in my following my heart. And I know that what I ask is given to me. I wouldn't want it so bad if it weren't really fucking mine. I wouldn't want this so bad if the universe weren't screaming to me, it's yours. It's so yours. That's why I want it this intensely. Because it is mine, and it's mine now. Right now. And I'm going to choose to believe that. To trust that. Over the anxiety, over the pain, over the voice of fear in my head saying, what about last time? What about this and that and whatever? None of that matters. None of that is related. Last time was the last time for that. This is the start of new. This is the start of something else. Everything that used to apply does not apply. Those rules don't apply anymore. They're done. They're gone. We are done with them. This time is new. This time is this time. And it's the start of new. It's all different from here. All of it. Let the old pain come up. Let the old fears resurface. They don't mean anything about the present or the future. They have no correlation to reality. And it's safe to feel them. It's safe to feel that pain. Feel it, look at it, experience it, express it. It has no power over you. It has no power over your reality, over your manifestation. It does not touch your well-being. It doesn't change or control anything. Your desire overrides all of it. Follow it. Just follow it. That's it. And if there's anxiety, go towards the thing that feels like the source of that anxiety. Go into it. Do that. Say that. Whatever it is that feels uncomfortable. Go towards it. You are so fucking powerful. That's the message. Fear is nothing to be afraid of. We can use it. It's not our guidance system, but we can use it to orient ourselves and to refocus on our desire and actually fuel that passion. and say, I'm going to do this. Instead of running from it, I'm running into it. Headlong. That's the message. That's all I got. This resonates powerfully with me. Powerfully. I do intend that it resonates with you. If so, I would love to know how. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Just breathe. Feel. Trust yourself. Even when the mind appears to be standing in the way, it's not standing in the way. It's not stopping you from anything. It can't. You've got it all. You have got it all right here. And masculine energy, channel that passion, channel that fear, laser focus on desire, which is feminine, and just go for it. Just go for it. That's all I got. Have a beautiful fucking evening. And know that always and always, in every vector of time and space, even as they are collapsing and reorienting, I absolutely love you. Take it easy.